Hey guys, welcome to the Impossible Podcast. Today we are going to be talking about content creation, business, and a whole lot of good stuff. So stick around and please enjoy the podcast. We're going to be talking about content creation and how to change your life around. I have a couple questions for you.
All right. What you got?
I've got, so basically you've been telling me, I know a little bit about this, but you basically changed your life around, right?
Yes, I did last year.
That's crazy. What got you motivated to basically wake up one day and just lose however many pounds you lost? What motivation was?
I just I got to a point where I kind of hit rock bottom, and I just noticed I hated the way I looked and I hated the way I felt all the time, and I really, really wanted to change that. So I decided enough was enough, and the key to sticking with something and starting something is just to start it. Because I often find that people, to start something, they have to have their own perfect conditions. The perfect condition is no conditions. You just have to start. Just do it. And when you do that, the motivation comes naturally.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. How many pounds did you lose?
It wasn't more losing pounds. I was just a chubby kid. I was more just trying to, because I still weighed nothing. I was still under 100 pounds, but It was just a lot of flab, you know what I mean? So so basically I just started doing cardio and trying to eat right, because my eating habits were terrible. I one time literally found myself eating chocolate chips out of a bag, just handfuls of chocolate chips, and I paused for a second and I was like, all right, this isn't good. Something's gotta change. And it just did. I just didn't wait for the right time, because that's one thing I've learned throughout life. There's never gonna be a right time. You just gotta do it.
Start a business. There's never gonna be a right time to start a family. People when they have kids, they're like, we've got to wait for the right time. Obviously, sometimes are better than others.
That's 100%. I think that's 100% true. But there's people, that's a common excuse. It's just, I need the right time. I'm waiting for the right time.
Or the right person.
And I did that. I kind of, for lack of a better word, played the victim in that scenario. But you just gotta do it.
You're never the victim. You always have control of what you can do as a person.
That is 100% true.
When people are like, well, he forced me to do drugs, or he did this to me. Dude, you had complete control over the choices that you made. I get that with people that, obviously, you know how most people are. Some people are, they don't know how to respond. And I was reading a great book called, I think it's called How to Change Your Habits or something. And it was talking about, don't change. You don't have to change. It's it's not how you say something. It's the way that you react to something.
Yep.
It's better to just, have no reaction than to, get in faces about stuff that doesn't really even matter.
Yeah. And I think we all kind of do that in our daily lives. It's just emotions, man, and it's hard to not, what's the right word?
Not react.
Yeah, just not react. I struggled with that a lot. When I was younger, I struggled with a lot of anger issues, and it took me a long time to overcome that. But I've gotten to a point in my life now where I don't have conflict in my life most of the time, because I'm not putting myself in situations where conflict could arise. It's just your environment makes you as a person. So choose the environment that'll make you a good person.
Yeah, you choose the people that you hang out with, you choose the people that you look up to. You can do all that type of stuff. And, whoever you hang out with, your body, you just melt into that person. So if you surround you surround yourself with people that are confident, that have good looks, that know what they're doing, that are wealthy, that are successful in life, and that are kind, you know what? You're slowly going to become like them, because that's just what our bodies naturally do. You want to be like the people that you hang out with, even if you're not thinking about it. If you're hanging out with bad kids and doing bad stuff with them, you're eventually going to become a bad kid. So if you surround yourself with people that are loving and kind, you're going to become that way as well. I mean, it's not going to permanently change your, perspective on life and stuff, but it is going to give you, more of an advantage.
Yeah. Because you're 100% a product of your environment. Like, it truly makes you. Like, I noticed, like, my environment did make me when I was younger. Like, I was kind of, like, quote unquote, a bad kid, but like, I was not the best person. And nowadays, I surround myself with people that make me feel good, and I think I make them feel good, and I think it's just a much better, like, just
gives you more confidence.
It does, and it really, like, because before I had friends, but they weren't the people that I needed to have in my life. And nowadays, I feel like I kind of found those people, and that's a great feeling to have to know you've kind of you've gotten yourself in a place that's right for you. And I never thought I would get there, but nowadays I feel it just feels great where I am.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like when somebody's nice to you when you're in, like, school or something, or somebody makes you feel like, hey, you're funny or something like that, you instantly want to be around them just because, like, oh, this person likes me. Like, I want to be friends with them. Even if they're not the best people in the world, when you're younger, you try to just, like, have whoever likes you, You just want them to be around you. And when you grow up, and you start thinking about, like, dude, that kid wasn't that cool of a guy. Like, he was just kind of a jerk,
Yeah, I 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I was definitely around people like that, and looking back, it made me much worse of a person. I did not benefit from that at all.
Yeah. I mean, like, my dad, he started, Timber and Love, and he had a show on HGTV, 35 episodes, and he said that he thought he could do everything by himself. Like, he didn't need anybody. He could just, like, start a business by himself. And now he is realizing that, like, he needs to surround himself with people that are more successful than him. And he's just seeing this growth of success because it's just crazy how other people can impact your life for the better or for the worse.
Yep. It all depends on who you choose, because it is your choice. Because, I mean, like you're saying about your dad, like, he definitely chose to surround himself with people that were successful and people that, I mean, I think he kind of feeds off their energy and they feed off his, and it makes everyone happy and everyone successful. And that's the kind of relationship you need to have between your friends, and it's just
ones.
Yeah, because if you're in a friendship, or you're in, like, a business relationship, something like that, and it's not working, but you stay because you just have, like, your vision is clouded and you think that it's going well. I mean, sometimes you just got to step back and just take a look at the big picture, because a lot of times what you think is good is not always going to work in the long run, and you need something that can work for you in the long run.
I definitely agree with that. So, let's change the subject to content creation.
All right.
Didn't you start something?
Oh, the new channel?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm starting on that. It's kind of slow right now. I'm trying to make sort of commentary content, and I really enjoy it, but I don't know if honestly I'm that entertaining to watch, and that's the biggest thing, because I see content, I love commentary content, and that's what I'm trying to replicate. But, like, people like Penguin Zero, or, I mean, I'm trying to think, Poncho, there's many commentary YouTubers that I love, and I'm trying to kind of replicate their style, but I don't know if I can exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm learning, and I just started a couple days ago, so I know it's gonna take a while, but I'm just learning.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, Mr. Beast didn't have subscribers until he was 5 years of after making content, he finally had 100 subscribers. Every single day he would upload, and it took him 5 years to get even 100 subscribers. And to think about that, it's all a learning process. People think, oh, I'm gonna jump into this, I'm gonna post for a couple days, and wham, I'm gonna be successful. And it's like, dude, you've got to learn how to make your content better. If you don't like what you're making, then you need to step back and you just need to keep grinding until you get to the point where you like what you're making. And even if you have to make less videos a day, or you have to, change something about your videos, as long as you like it, it's gonna work out. I mean, if you don't like it and you don't like what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it.
It's all about that grind. You just a lot of people, and I thought this too when I was younger. I thought I could just post like 1 or 2 videos and I would blow up and I would get millions of dollars. But no, like what you're saying about Mr. Beast, it's truly you have to have love for the game, and it needs to be something that you're passionate about. And I think I just wanted to make money and be famous back then. But nowadays, like, I have a passion for it. It's really, like, I'm an editor, and I love editing. And it makes my day so much better, and I love getting as much practice as I can. It's just one of my favorite things in the world.
That's like, people don't understand that they could just have a job. Like, golf, there's so many jobs in the world. Like, you could do so much more. People could be doing so much more, but I feel like people get stuck in a loop where it's like, well, I gotta go to job. I'm just gonna get this job, and then I'm gonna start what I want to do. And they get into the loop of the job, and then, they start to build their life around the job instead of building their job around their life.
Yeah, and you can't do that. You see people get stuck and they're raised to be into that 9 to 5 cycle. And it's really sad to see, because if they just took that one step, that little bit of ambition, they could break that cycle and have freedom. Because that 9 to 5 cycle, it's
a lot.
Yeah, it's like prison. Because you're trapped, and it's so hard for people to think about the idea that they could get out of that cycle. And there's
risk. People don't like risk.
There's so much untapped potential, and it's sad to see it all go to waste.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Back to the YouTube thing. I started a channel last year, actually. And I knew the reason I actually started was because I got bullied so much about like you're never gonna be great at something. Like, dude, you should just give up. Like, people are just jerks, and instead of taking that negatively, I said, you know what, I'm gonna prove you wrong, boy.
Oh, yeah.
So I started my channel, and I was like, I said, I'm gonna take a year, and I'm not gonna blow up until 3 years. Like, I'm going to upload until, like, a year. I don't care if it takes me a year to even get a view. And so I think within 2 weeks of uploading, I got 2.2 million views on one video.
Wow.
Yeah, it went viral, basically. And it was just crazy because I had no clue that it was going to be that fast. And obviously that doesn't happen with most things. Obviously I got lucky and I hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
It was crazy because I woke up one morning and it was at 40,000 views, and I started screaming. In my house at 6 a.m. My dad's like, what the heck are you screaming about? I'm like, Dad, I got 40,000 views. And it just kept going up. And it was,
yeah, man.
It was a ride. It was crazy.
The joy of content creation.
Yeah. So,
so I wanted to ask, what influences your content?
I think doing something that no one else. I think that's really one of the biggest things, is like being different. I know everybody fit in, and they want to like have people that surround them that they feel like, hey, you like me because I fit in. And it's like, dude, everybody's got that weird self inside of them, you know? And people are scared to let it show, and I'm like, I'm just trying to show people that, like, it doesn't matter who you are, you can be successful. It doesn't matter if you're a nerd, it doesn't matter if you can't walk, like, nothing matters as long as you're determined.
It's all about determination.
Mm-hmm. So, if you were gonna start a business, if you had one day to start a business, how would you do
it? Like, what would I launch the business on, or like what my product would be?
Yeah, what would you surround yourself as a business? Like, what would your main points of a business be if you had to start it in one day?
I'd say the thing that I've noticed for businesses and products that people sell, advertising plays a huge part in a business. Mm-hmm. So if I'm selling something, I'd make sure my advertising department, or just if I'm just doing it, I'd make sure advertising is great, because you need a hook. The hook is what gets people. I've noticed that a lot on videos, like back to content creation, like videos that don't get a lot of views usually have a bad intro. You need the hook is what gets them. So you need something that'll hook someone into your product, and I think the best way to do that is through like TikTok ads, Instagram ads, just eye-catching, bright colors. You know, people are just little kids in their brain. Bright colors, you know.
Everybody's the same.
Yeah. I mean, when I say I'm going to the store, like I'm looking for a product, I look at the one, like I feel like the one that catches my eye is the one that has the brightest colors, the coolest design. Like that's what I look at first. And the ones that don't, even if the product is great, even if it isn't, but if it doesn't hook you, then I don't even look at it. So that's a big part. And then I'd have to say, it's a tough question.
One thing about like Doritos, you know how they're red and they're shiny packaging, like they catch your eye when you're going through the thing. Another thing is the name and the brand. You've got to build your brand, because when people think of Doritos, they think of, man, that is a good chip, you know? Like, even if they've never had it before, they know what Doritos are. Everybody knows what Doritos are. So if you build something like an ad and it catches people, it's a good name, and people just remember it, and the second they try it or they see it in the store, they're like, hey, I heard about that. That looked kind of good. So, yeah, it's huge, because, I mean, Band-Aids, that's not even the real name. Everybody calls Band-Aids Band-Aids. They're actually called, like, Johnson or whatever. I don't even know the name. Dude, they are literally called, they are branded so well that the brand is what people think of when they think of Band-Aids. Band-Aids is a brand, not an actual thing.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
That's the thing. And if you can get it to be like just what, like, everyone knows what it is, like Band-Aids are everywhere. They're like, no one doesn't know what a Band-Aid is. I mean, like, for the most part, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows what a Band-Aid is. But like,
you need some help.
For real. Like, you need something that will stay in someone's brain. The thing is, marketing isn't all you need, because the marketing could be amazing. But like I said earlier with the videos, like, if your hook is bad but your content's good, that could be switched around. Your hook is great but your content is unsatisfying. That could be the same thing with what you're selling. You could have great marketing, it looks great, product looks like it works amazing, but if someone gets it or purchases your product and it tastes bad or it just doesn't work or something like that, like, you need to be able to,
it goes down.
Yeah, because marketing will do half the work for you, but you need to be able to back it up.
That's true. So, well, I was listening to this other podcast, and he's you know the guy that's his dad had a alcohol store, and he made him basically a multi-billionaire, I think.
Really?
By marketing. He came in and he told his dad, I did this for him. And he literally became like one of the biggest beer companies ever just because of marketing. And obviously his beers were good, but like the name and the way that people perceive it when they try it is what created that huge spark.
Yeah, that's... Sorry, what you said?
It's weird how human psychology is, you know? Another thing is, like, this guy, he said if I had $1,000, I think he's a multi-millionaire, and he said if I have $1,000 and I had nothing else but $1,000, I would go to every garage sale and yard sale, and I would buy things that I knew. I'd do all the research, and I'd know what is worth money. And he would go to yard sales, and he would buy stuff that was 3 times, and he'd sell it online for 3 times the amount that he bought it for, or more. And that could instantly double your money. And the same thing with real estate. I mean, you buy a house, you invest some money into it, and you sell it for more. Is one of the best ways to make money. Or something that gives you current income, like Airbnb. Like, you can buy a house, you can Airbnb it, and if you get good reviews and ratings, people are going to stay there, and it literally pays for itself. I mean, people don't understand how that can just change your life, because you own a house that pays for itself, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is wild. Okay, I wanted to move on, maybe back to some content creation stuff. So we've had a talk about this before, but you've told me about certain times to post shorts, like YouTube shorts, and kind of the whole world, and it's a lot deeper than I thought it would, and I think the viewers would like to hear more about that.
Yeah, so if you're definitely into content creation, or you want your stats to go up, basically the algorithm is like a brain, and so when it sees something and it sees it again somewhere else, it's gonna want to show them that video. But also, posting at the same time every day or even at the same times, it gets the algorithm to know, hey, he's gonna be posting at 6 o'clock exactly, and so we're gonna upload that. And I noticed it because I used to post videos and then I'd delete them if they got nothing, and it was quite interesting because I would post at 6 o'clock at night, and they would get the exact same amount of views. But if I posted even a minute late, it would get like 10 views. So yeah, and I was like, that is the algorithm right there.
Yeah.
And so I did. Oh, go ahead.
No, you can finish.
I did that straight for I think 3 months. I didn't stop posting ever at the same time until one night I posted at 6 and it didn't get anything. And so I was panicking because I posted it at the right time, and it was actually the video that went viral. And so I reread about algorithm, I figured it out, and that Saturday I posted 2 videos at the exact same time. I remember I was outside and my dad was like, okay, let's grind some videos out. And the very last video, he was like, oh, didn't your friend tell you about the Grimace Shake? And I was like, oh yeah. So I got out some purple dye and I put it into some milk and I drank it, and I acted like I didn't die from the Grimace Shake, and I posted it at the time that the algorithm said, and instantly, overnight, I literally
blew up.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, the Grimace Shake. Yeah, some goofy goober content right there.
But it worked.
Yeah, man. Don't knock it if it works. Yeah.
The thing is, also, people try to, post totally different content. And I realized if I posted something about swimming at 6 o'clock and I posted something about, I don't know, gardening the next day, they would not get the same amount of views because the algorithm thinks, hey, he's a swimmer, so we're going to post this to other people that are swimming. And it's got to change when you're doing something completely different. So if you can keep your content similar, not every video is going to be the same. But if you can keep it in the similar category, the algorithm's going to have a better chance to. Obviously, the more consistent it is, the more it's going to just, like, try to push it out there. Which is really interesting.
Yeah, you got to stick to a niche. And I've done a lot of research on niches, and if you move around, like, I originally, when I first thought about YouTube, like, I wanted to make all kinds of content, like scatterbrain stuff, but, like, it never worked, because you need to stick to something. No, because one thing I actually just recently learned about this, it's called search engine optimization. And basically what it is YouTube and the algorithm, it finds, if you say you're posting a YouTube short, if you put in the description of that short a bunch of keywords, like, say, pop culture, politics, comedy, stuff like that, and you put that, what'd you say?
You've got to keep it the same.
Yeah. You got it. But the thing is, if you put that in the description of every single video you post, the search engine will be, and the algorithm will be optimized to find your videos every time someone searches anything remotely close to that. And I thought that was a really cool thing, and I just learned about it. I think it's wild.
Yeah, that's what I used to do. I used to have certain key things, and I would copy paste every single video. I just copy paste.
Yep, that's the way to go.
And it worked. I mean, it worked.
Hey, man, if it works, it works.
So, is there anything that specifically, excuse me, specifically, that you want to note on or hit on for the podcast?
We might have talked about this already a little bit, but tips for some up and coming YouTubers. And
so, tips for up and coming YouTubers. Number 1, the most important tip of all time: you're not gonna blow up, buddy. It's gonna take a hell lot of work, and it's
gotta grind.
It's not gonna happen for a long time. So it's better to think it's not gonna happen ever for, maybe a year, but you can't get discouraged. You've got to know, hey, it's not gonna happen yet, but it's gonna happen eventually. It's always gonna happen eventually. The YouTube algorithm has to eventually. It's kind of like slots. You're kind of just like, it's eventually gonna hit, guys.
Yeah, guys, I promise. I know my kid's not gonna go to college, but it's chill. I'm gonna win money. I swear.
But yeah, that's a big tip. Another tip is try to find something that not everybody's doing, because if you're only posting Minecraft videos, you've got to realize there are so many other content creators, and you've got to think, why would they come to me instead of these people?
Yeah.
Instead of someone else. Like,
if the market, sorry, continue.
If there's a ton of people, you've got to give people a reason why they need to watch you. You've got to stand out. And obviously that's not going to happen at the beginning. You got to find your rhythm of you. Also got to know that you have to have something that provides somebody with either information or gives them a laugh. You've got to have something that people are pulling away every video.
Yeah. I call that, I watched a couple of videos on that, basically describing exactly what you're talking about, and they call those X factors. So something that gets people to return or binge watch a bunch of your videos. You need something that is specifically you, or like, it's just, when they think of that, they think of you. And that's, you need to, it's the same thing with like a brand. You need to stick in people's minds, and you need them to be thinking about your content. And the same thing with that hook. So for certain content, like you said, like, markets are saturated right now with certain types of content. So if you're gonna do that content, make sure you got that good hook, and the story, it needs to be satisfying, because you can't hook someone and then give them nothing. They're just gonna click off. People's attention spans are shorter than ever. So you need to, you gotta just get them. You gotta hook them quick, and don't make your video, a big tip I would think is, don't make your videos because people aren't going to stick around for that. And you got to make something that sets you, like you were saying, sets you apart from other people. And sorry, I'm kind of rambling, but the last thing I wanted to point on is about like in the ending of your video, even if your hook was good, and the like kind of the middle part, like it all kind of goes together, it's nice, but if the ending is bad too, people, even though they watched your video,
bad perspective of you,
they won't return. And you need returning viewers.
And you also got to remember that nobody cares. Like, nobody cares if you're the coolest kid in the world. Like, you've got to not take stuff personally, you know? Like, bad comments and stuff. Like, dude, in the end game, you're gonna die and no one's gonna remember you. So,
yeah.
You just got to do stuff that makes people in the moment feel either good about themselves or helps them with something.
Yeah. And, sorry, continue.
Oh no, that was just a lot of good stuff right there. If you're early or even in the long game and you can't figure out like what's the next step, you know?
Yeah. How do you come up with ideas for content?
Oh, that's easy. Either I'm laying in bed late at night and I'm like, oh my goodness, that is funny, or I'm just like, that is so stupid. Or, I mean, and that worked for me for about a month, and then I realized, I feel like that's the Debbie Downer, because you can only come up with so much, and then you feel like, I'm worthless because I can't figure out what to do next. And, one of the great things is to just watch other people's videos. I feel like the more time you have watching other people, the more likely you are to follow them, and everything's under their sun. So it doesn't matter what you do in life, everything's been done. There's always those couple things that is like, oh, that's never happened. But it's like pretty much everything you're ever gonna do has happened. I mean, Elon Musk created the Tesla, and it's not an original idea. There was an electric car and it didn't work. And you know what? He said, I'm gonna make an electric car and I'm gonna make it work. Or I'm gonna make it better. When you're creating content, you can't just like think I have to have all my own original ideas, because that's never gonna happen. There's always gonna be videos that are gonna be based off of someone else's, or it's just gonna be like somebody else's. You've just got to figure out how to make it better and how to make it more entertaining, because if you can make it 1% better, they've got 1% more of a chance to watch your video than the other person's.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's really just building off content that's been made, but you just adding your own personal spin to it. It's like how to describe it. It doesn't have to be all completely original, and taking inspiration is what a lot of people do. And honestly,
everybody.
Like I've seen a lot of, like, back to like the commentary thing, like commentary YouTubers, a lot of them just kind of piggyback off other commentary YouTubers' ideas and then just add their own kind of personal spin to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's great, and I think that's what a lot of people should strive to do when they're first making content. Just kind of find things that work and then kind of
go off of that.
Yeah, blend it up into your own kind of thing. And then I think you're kind of set for success eventually.
Yeah. What do you find that you love about editing? Like, what was the inspiring thing? Like, what do you think that inspired you to edit?
So, when I was younger, I went to this camp, and basically it was a bunch of kids, and we got some nice film equipment, and we were allowed to make our own short film.
Oh, that's
so. And I'm also really into cinematography, so I got to do some filming for it, and then they let me edit the whole project. And it was, I love the intricate details about editing. Like, just, there's certain things, like, you watch videos sometimes, like, things that you would never notice, but if they weren't there, you'd be like, whoa, like, what is happening? It's just, editing, like, there's certain things you can do, like, let me think. Like motion blur, like you'd never notice that. Like, say you're watching a superhero movie, there's little tiny things that they put in there that if they weren't there, it'd be this chopped up, goofy looking stop motion thing. Yeah, but like I think editing is just such an important job, and I don't know, just there's just something about it, man. It's my favorite thing.
That's sweet. So when you're editing, what do you use to edit on?
So it kind of goes back and forth. When someone lets me use Adobe Premiere, I use that, but I'm a little short on cash right now, so I use CapCut most of the time. But I use it on Mac, so a little more fancy.
Fancy.
Fancy, yeah. And if I'm not using CapCut, I'll probably use Wondershare Filmora, which is another editing software. It's good, but it's a whole, like, you have to pay for it. It's dumb.
No.
So, I recently found an AI editing software. A lot of, have you ever seen those, like, Joe Rogan podcast clips?
Oh yeah, I see them all the time.
Yeah, so I watched this video about how to make content like that, and there's this AI editor, and I'm not gonna spill the secrets about it, but basically you can look it up on YouTube. But basically what it does, you take a long form clip, like go to the Joe Rogan podcast on YouTube, put the link for that video into the AI editing software, and it will make you like 15 clips from that video with captions, and will edit it for you.
That's actually creepy.
I know, AI is scary, man. We could talk more about AI in the next video, because that's a whole barrel of monkeys.
I mean, the thing that I feel like is scary is just like, it's not really the AI that's scary, it's the person controlled.
Well, that's the thing. How long can they be controlled?
That's true. I mean, all they need is one person to put a little error in the code. And
a little extra juice.
And, I mean, I kind of feel bad for them. They kind of feel like real people, you know? Like, I was talking for about 6 hours yesterday, and it was creepy. Don't ask why I was talking to one.
Okay. Suspicious. Very suspicious.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about them. Especially because, like, all the online jobs or taxes or anything like that can easily just be taken over instantly. Yeah. Like, you know those people that are paid to just, like, count your taxes and stuff, or like whatever they're called, those people that
accountants?
Yeah, accountants. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, instantly their jobs are all gone.
I know, and I'm afraid of, like, leaving my possessions to be handled by AI.
Oh, that's
it is, right? Like, it weirds me out.
So
I don't know, and like, oh, sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I was gonna say, go ahead, but I'll say it in a second.
I've seen there's so many different AIs now, and I think some of it's really cool. Have you heard about DALL-E? It's basically, it creates 100% original works of art in the style of famous artists, and I think it's wild, but it's that is the only kind of AI that I really think is, like,
cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of it's cool, but it's the only one that I'm not, like, a little bit scared of.
How is it gonna hurt you? It's gonna paint you a picture.
It's gonna paint me a picture of human civilization being burned to the ground.
Oh gosh. So did you hear about Tesla? They're making a 2026. They're coming out with an AI that lives in your house.
Really?
Yeah, it's gonna be an AI robot. And
wow.
It's basically gonna be your maid.
It's spooky.
It's actually creepy because, I mean, I want that to live in my house, please. Please.
Hell no.
Hell no, brother.
Hell no. All right. I think we've hit our time limit for today.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining me and Colin on this awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us for this awesome podcast. We'll see you guys next week to talk about books, to talk about success habits, to talk about business, to talk some more about AI. There's a lot of stuff we're going to go over, pop culture, a lot of stuff. There's going to be, if you want to know it, we've got it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next podcast.
Be sure to subscribe, and yeah, thanks so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.